So a friend of mine just recently purchased some land out here in the country, came with this awesome little house, and he's renovating it. He's got a really cool stair system that he's designed, and we're gonna help him out with it. It's a little bit tricky. It looks really awesome, but it's like nothing that we've done before. So we're gonna see if we can knock this out for him. So here is the location where we're gonna be installing this unique stair railing, and you can see it's gonna start right here, and then it'll go up all the way to that temporary rail right there, that 36-inch high 2x4 right here. Here's all of our lumber. This is solid beech wood. It's actually going to be my first time working with beech. It kind of has like a rift white oak look to it. We've got our top rail temporarily in, just so we can get all of our vertical measurement takeoffs. 49 5/8.
Is this one here? Let me put a pencil line on this side, so it's right here.
So the idea here is we're gonna get our two outside verticals, which this is the one for over here. We've got that one in already. And then we can kind of figure out the pattern based off these. These are not gonna change, but everything within this, now we can manipulate and make it fit that pattern. There's gonna be a lot of interesting parts on this stair build, and one of them is where we're having this kind of half flap going into the existing stringer that's there. So I need to cut this lap joint out of this, and I'm gonna try it out actually using my table saw. I've got a slider in the field with this Festool new little cordless table saw. We'll see how it holds up with this beech, but I think this is the perfect tool. Makes me feel like I'm back in my shop with my sliding table saw. So my height is set there. So I can set my fence here, but you never want to pinch material here. So this will slide back. Bam, right there. So now I'll hit my stop, and then that'll be the first start of that. Then I'll just go all the way through. Of course, this is gonna take multiple passes, but it's really cool to be able to set this up right here in the field like this. So let's give it a shot. All right, this is gonna go right here.
Yep.
Nice.
2, 3, and then we got those coming here. So that takes care of us going. We're going from here down, back up.
Okay. So I got a lot of little parts to make.
Yeah, this one here, and then back up, and then we'll measure that one that's up there and cut.
This is confusing.
Well, then here's your thin ones.
That cut list was pretty confusing to me, but it started to make sense as I was the cut man and started cutting everything up. So we ended up labeling a lot of these parts just to keep them in order, because with a pattern like this, you could really lose track of parts.
Is that a thick one?
I don't think it matters though, right?
What's this one right here? Is that thick?
Yeah, that's a thick one.
This is the one. Sit there. Oops, close to the front. Yeah, be around in
Right
here.
there.
Okay, so now this is where we start going.
This one goes here.
Yeah, I need this one. Do this one right here, and then we'll start tying those together.
So we've got this kind of running pattern that is continuous, and another pattern in the middle of these. This is kind of separate is the way we're treating it. And right now we're just getting our spring clamps on, as you can see, taping up little blocks to keep all our spaces, and really just doing a dry fit on this so we can get everything good, make sure it fits before we start dominoing everything, because every joint here that's mitered is going to have a domino connecting them. That one's good, yeah. And then maybe one on this one. Just doing some micro adjustments here. making these things fit together. And you can see our last piece dropped in over there. We gotta trim some of it out though because of that drywall. We've had to notch all these, as you can see. It gets a little tricky. But that is looking good. That's what I wanted to see right there. Wow. All right, so here's how it looks from the approach coming up the stairs. And you can see we've still got that smaller pattern like I was saying to do. And that is gonna be done in a thinner board. So these are actually milled a little bit thinner. These are 1.75 inch by 1.75 inch. And then every small pattern between those is going to be, I believe, 1.5 inches. So there's a 1/4 inch difference. So there'll be an 1/8 reveal on each side when it meets up, when this goes up and meets up with this thick stuff we just dry fit. So here I am again working off that same cut list, but this time measuring those inside thinner pattern boards. So I've got 8 of these to make at 8.5 inches, just miter to miter, from outside toe to outside toe. And I've got my little pin set up here. I've already got this pin set up for 8.5 on my stop. So with that miter that I just cut, I can just flip this thing upside down and then make the next cut. So now I should be right at 8.5, what I have it set up for, 8.5, and then I have my next miter already cut, ready to go. I could just do that, a backflip to that one, and then make the next cut. If someone wants to come over here and use the saw, like John has been, if you've seen it in the time lapses, he's just taking this pin out and putting it up here. So it doesn't mess up anything with me. I just put my pin back in there, bump against it. And that's what we call efficiency. So we now have all of our parts created, cut to size, and in position. So the next thing we need to do is take all this back outside. We've got a little work table set up, and then we can run dominoes inside all these miters where these come together. We've got our domino here. We've got it set up for a 45-degree angle because we're gonna be joining all of these pieces together. These are our short ones, but they're gonna join to our long ones like that, of course. And what we've done here is we've just set up a little jig. We could just drop this piece in right there, and then we clamp it together just to kind of hold it tight so it doesn't move around on us. And then I got my gauges in here. There's a little window. I can make sure I'm centered on my piece with that. And then I just get on my jig here, making sure I'm flush. And then we have our perfect domino hole right there. We're doing this on the second setting, which is like the looser setting. So we have a little bit of wiggle room there. So this thing will move from side to side. That way it gives us some room to kind of adjust it so we don't have to be dead on. But I've got all these to do. We're gonna be doing the same thing to all the small ones, all the large ones, and we're gonna be using a lot of dominoes today. That's good. I always do this. I need to use less glue. I always overdo it. That one goes there. Nice. So we got our first one dominoed and assembled together. I probably used too much glue like I always do, so I'll tone it down on the glue. We'll get a wet rag, clean this one up, and keep moving along with this assembly. And really this assembly, I thought it would be a lot harder, but it's actually pretty straightforward since we had a pretty good system and had everything labeled. We had it like a kind of a out-of-the-box furniture or something you'd get from IKEA, like put part A with part B, and we built all the smaller component stuff first to join it to the larger stuff. And we used a lot of these vice grip style clamps and spring clamps to keep everything locked in place, and it seemed to work out really good. So we now have all of our components put together for the most part. We're gonna assemble some more of these out here, but if we put the whole thing together as one, it's just gonna be too large to take in through that front door there. So we're gonna have to do this strategically, probably assemble some of this small stuff, but the big stuff, do it in place.
Okay, this one's gonna go right.
Seven and an eighth, 7 and an eighth.
Okay, it's right there. I didn't know what this one is then.
3 3/4, 3 3/4.
Okay, so I'm on a 3 3/4 block right there.
So here's a look at the majority of it put together. I'd say this is probably 80% of it. We've got one piece over there that we're still working on. We've got this board right here screwed in, and this is bracing it. There is the main component. So we're gonna try to get this in one piece.
This side up.
Okay.
Keep it on this plane.
We gotta be careful with those.
Right, you could hold this one too if you want. Okay, there we go. You got it?
Yeah, just.
You buy the.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at it so we don't snap off our pieces.
Yeah. Still needs to keep it up kind of like this. What am I doing right there?
Looks good.
Ladder okay? Keep coming around, curl around. Go on up and I'll pivot around.
Oh man.
You okay?
It seems like there's a lot of pressure on that stick right there. Oh, we're at a snap. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there we're better. We're better.
Stay on the outside if you want to. Right on this step here. Stop here. Set it on this step. Just like that. Because I need to get that board out of there, don't I? Okay. Should go one more time right here. You see the double line up there?
Yeah.
Double line.
Yep.
That's our spot.
Yeah, that works. So we just got to notch out for that
The other
wall.
one up. Can you reach that and do all the...
Yeah, I got it. I can do everything right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Any screws out?
No, I think you're good. Oh, I gotta get that in. Is that one in?
Oh, looks good.
Okay.
Just gotta be adjusted a little bit.
Nice.
3/8, I need a tap. How'd I get it?
Yeah, you're good. All right, let me get that rag from you. As always, I put too much glue.
This is good. We gotta line these up, okay? So let me give you this. And I think the bottom one's right. Hold a second. 6 and 7 1/4. Nope, moves. You leave yours where it is up.
Yeah, that looks good. And when we screw this in to the wall, that'll get tighter. All right, there's our view from the second floor up here. That is pretty cool. But our handrail will sit right on top of those other ones, and you can see we've already got our dominoes in ready to accept that. we are complete. Well, I got 2 plugs in. We got to keep plugging. We've got to do a final sand with our surf prep here. We're going to hit everything, and I'm so happy because the sander will fit in between this design here so we can hit everything. And this will be complete. Really, really unique project here. I never would have dreamt this up, but here it is. It looks awesome, and I think we executed on it. Hopefully you learned something from this video. I definitely learned something going through this. The most dominoes I've ever dominoed are in this system. Every joint has its own domino. The top rail where we join that, it's all dominoed together. And again, first time working with this beech wood. It was pretty awesome. Love the way it looks, and he's just gonna put a clear coat on it to finish it off.